Hi everyone, welcome on board to AUTH0RITI, where you get the reliable news that is tailored for you, and of course where you can actually comment and interact. Authorities in the United States may have commenced large-scale investigations into the massive looting of Nigeria's treasury by members of President Muhammadu Buhari's cabal. According to Point Blank, sources at the United States Department and the Department of Justice, DOJ, are said to have tracked money laundering activities of Buhari's personal assistant and private secretary, Sabiu Tunde Yusuf. He is a senior special assistant, he's the private secretary to Buhari, personal assistant and private secretary to Buhari, and also is the senior special assistant domestic Sarki Abra, Mamandaura, and Ismaila Isa and Abubakar Isa Funtua, and they are tracking this money laundering from 2016, that's a year after Buhari came in, to 2019, one in the United Arab Emirates and in the United Kingdom. Now, do not be confused with the name Sabiu Tunde Yusuf. He has nothing to do with the south of Nigeria. The Tunde is actually a name that he adopted, as they said that he looks like a man in the military back in those days. Idiagbon. Now, this same Sabiu Tunde Yusuf is the man that was said to have been chased out of Aso Rock by Aisha Buhari's aide security because he was not ready to self-isolate himself, having visited some locations outside of Aso Rock, and the security around Aisha Buhari had to bring out his gun to shoot, probably because this man was becoming a menace and beginning to challenge them. And the police officer, or whatever he is, looked at this man as someone that he should, that should be put in his place. Anyway, everything went up and down, and people ended up saying that there is no government in Nigeria, that Buhari is dead. If he's not dead, how come he cannot handle little matters like this in his family? I mean, in Aso Rock and around him. Although he came out to address the people to say there is no big issue, the law has to be, taken here and there, stuff like that. Anyway, the aid has been kicked off. Now, let's go back to the story on ground. Now, while the United States is relying on a mutual legal assistance treaty, MLAT, with the United Kingdom to compile the money laundering activities of the interested persons, they are also said to have invoked the Foreign Account Tax Compliance FATCA Act, an agreement entered with the United Arab Emirates to commence the investigations. Now, members of the cabal are Buhari's nephew, Mamandaura Issa Funtua. You must have heard of that name, Funtua, President Buhari personal assistant, private secretary, Sabiu Yusuf, and the president's former chief of staff, Abakari, who died some month ago. The investigation of Buhari's cabal is part of the investigations being conducted by the United States government over the massive looting and money laundering going on in the administration. Now, Sabiu Yusuf Tunde have been moving millions to London and Dubai, where he is alleged to have acquired choice properties. Now, I am not shocked or surprised about this, because you need to see the wristwatch. One of the wristwatches that this man owns, this young man, is I think 30 or less than 30. You need to see the amount of wristwatch. The wristwatch cost about $100,000 or more, and that's just one of his wristwatches. So if someone can put on $100,000, I didn't say $1,000, $100,000 wristwatch, that goes into millions of naira. If someone could put on that, what else do you think? Do you think you would not want to have properties that are much more expensive? So the question you ask yourself is this: how is this possible for someone that is a personal assistant to Buhari? How does he get the money? Does he go into the CBN? Does he move into the treasury? How do they do these things? There are a lot of things happening in this administration. This government is not there to fight corruption. Rather, money is being collected from the front and it goes out of the back door. A lot of people have said the vice president is not talking. Yemi Osinbajo, Pastor Yemi Osinbajo. That's because the amount of money that he believes is being given to him, allocated to him somehow, either as salary or whatever, is content with this, and he's just taking the money, keeping quiet, because that is what he's there for. Sit there, assist him. Wherever they put you, sit down there against 2023. Now, that's why he's keeping quiet with all of these things happening. Now, according to sources out there, financial transactions done by the members of the cabal between 2016 to 2019 using banks in Nigeria, they used bank in London, that's United Kingdom, and they also used bank in Dubai, and these banks have been flagged. Properties purchased from funds suspected to have been laundered by the above mentioned have been traced in Dubai, London. A source familiar with the investigation hinted. Authorities said the most troubling is cash movement linked to Sabiu Yusuf through some proxies to Dubai and London using some first-generation banks in Nigeria. And I'll tell you this for free. The Funtua man recently acquired Keystone Bank. So you need to see the connections here and there and how these people run the show. According to some top sources, top officials of the new generation banks have helped Sabiu, Tunde, and others named in all the others that I've just named in laundering over $800 million. That's just the one they are aware of, by disguising it as sources. They disguised it for the past 5 years. They've been disguising this movement of this money. Over $800 million has been laundered between 2016 to 2019. That's why that young man could put on a watch that cost $100,000. That's it. They said most of the money has been used to purchase properties, choice properties, not just properties, choice properties, meaning they go to Chelsea, like in the United Kingdom. They go to some parts of the United Kingdom that boast of very expensive, properties. They go in there and they buy those properties, and they even went to Dubai. Of course, that's the lenient, not too Muslim location that they can get a property and still do what they do. So this man with the rest of them have properties in Dubai, London. The Nigerian Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Abubakar Malami, if you could recall, and the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, have been under the radar of the United States government over acts of corruption and rights abuses in relation to the management of the Abacha loot. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Abubakar Malami did not call this Abacha's loot. He rather gave it a very beautiful name. And in all indications, it's saying that the money is Abacha's money, Abacha's estate, Abacha's funds have been returned. Malami, Magu, and other members of President Muhammadu Buhari's cabinet have been processed for sanctions by the United States. While it was gathered that Malami pocketed over $250 million from the Abacha loot, it is learned that the Attorney General and Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu. Now, for those who don't know Atiku Bagudu, he is the man connected to Abacha back in those days. He was one of the people connected, and he helped in looting Nigerians' treasury. In fact, he had some dealings with Obasanjo during that time, but somehow it's like Obasanjo broke the deal. And now he had the same deal with this administration, where he said there are certain amount of money that he believes should be given to him. Probably, I don't know, it's still part of the corruption. Like, you know what, I'm going to tell you where the money is, but I need a particular amount of money from that loot. And this administration decided to give to him what he wants. So we are talking about Malami pocketing over $250 million. We are talking about the Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu shared some part of the recovered loot, claiming that it was a commission paid to negotiators. A case has also been filed in New Jersey challenging Malami's huge amount he demanded for as a commission for the Abacha repatriated loots. The United States has invoked a particular act on the two government officials and several other members of Buhari's government. In 2016, Congress enacted the Global Magnitsky, if I got that pronounced properly, Human Rights Accountability Act, which allows the United States government to sanction foreign government officials implicated in human rights abuses anywhere in the world. United States Senator Charles Grassley recently asked the United States government to withhold the repatriation of the 320 million Abacha loot to Nigeria, citing President Muhammadu Buhari's refusal to cooperate with the United States Department of Justice to finalize a second forfeiture action against a separate 100 million loot, as well as intending to return the money to an official who was involved in corruption with Abacha. He insisted that it was critical for Congress to understand what steps the United States government was taking before it helps to transfer millions of dollars to Nigeria to ensure that the money is not fueling more corruption and government abuses. Now, with all this, and even a lawmaker who chairs Senate Committee on Finance stated this in a letter he wrote to Deborah Connor, who is the Chief Money Laundering and Asset Recovery Section of the Department of Justice, DOJ, in the United States. With all of this, one would have thought that the United States of America is clean of all. No, I'll tell you that they are part of this. They are part of this. So do not be fooled into believing that the United States of America is clean. Wherever money moves, always know that the money is not stored in a Nigerian bank, and the money is not stored by Nigerians. The money is stored by the British people there, by the British officials and government, because there's no way you put money into a bank there, running to millions of naira, that the government will not be aware of this. So they are more or less criminals together. It's just that it came to a point whereby they cannot say no. The money has not been stolen. They couldn't say the money is not with us. The money that was stolen is not with us. So both the British government, the American government, and the bankers and whoever is involved, the corporations that are involved in receiving money, stolen money, they are all birds of the same feather. They are all thieves.
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel. And if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.